Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Earth Show here at USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Roland Friedl, and I'm the creator and the host of this show. And because I dedicated my life to respect Mother Earth, to do everything to protect Mother Earth and to respect Mother Earth in educating people, but foremost, just to be a role model on my daily basis, what I'm daily doing to respect Mother Earth. And it's all about in this show. It's not about finger pointing. It's not about rules and regulations. It's not about that. It's about giving you an opportunity to learn what you can do on a daily basis. It's all of it about the small steps. It's not about large thing. And I strongly believe it always starts with ourselves. It's not about the government, companies, or whatever. No, it always starts with ourselves. Well, normally the show runs with my co-host MARCIN. He's off today because he has some really bad network challenges. So I do it by myself. And yeah, this show today is about food waste. Wasting food, which is a huge problem. And we also can have a huge impact on our environment and on the long term on Mother Earth when we waste less food. Because actually, for many people in the world, food waste, from my experience, has become a habit. So buying more food than we need, we buy at the market, so we buy more than we need. We're letting fruits and vegetables spoil at home, or we take larger portions, much more large than we can take. I remember when I used to travel for business many years, I really was a little bit fed up when I saw people going to the buffet in a hotel and plates like this, and then they don't finish. They just waste it, let it over. And it's not good. And I think that these habits put an extra strain on our natural resources because we just waste it. We don't use it and damage our environment too. And so what I mean is when we waste food, we waste the labor, the effort, the investment, and the precious resources like water, seeds, feed, etc., that go into the production of this food. So not to mention the resources that go into the transporting. So we transport also the food, we process this when we buy processed food. So in short, wasting food increases greenhouse gas emissions and contributes to climate change. And I think it's a big problem. In fact, worldwide, tons of edible food are wasted every single day. I mean, when I walk by on supermarkets, for example, late in the evening, when they bring all the food out that is just they couldn't sell and bring it to the garbage bin, or when I see people in restaurants and so on, they have huge food that has been wasted. So between harvesting and retail alone, research say that around 14-15% of all food produced globally is lost. And huge quantities of food are also wasted in retail, as I said, just throw it away, or at the customer's level, meaning at home. And the part of food that is lost from harvest up, but not including the retail level, is called food loss. And the part wasted at the consumer or retail level is referred as a food waste. So from the production until it comes to the retail shop, we talk about food loss that is lost on transportation, or lost on the harvesting, on the processing. Manufacturing is food loss, and food waste is what retailers bring to the garbage, go away, or what customers, consumers throw away at home or in restaurants. So we make this distinction to address the root cause of the problem, a problem that everyone, I strongly believe that everyone, from farmers and producers to customers and shop owners, can help. And it's all about working together. But we're talking here about consumers. Maybe you run a retail shop, or maybe you're a farmer, or maybe even you have a restaurant or whatever. It's also interesting from a professional point of view. So reducing food loss and waste is actually essential in a world where millions of people go hungry to bed every day. And I strongly believe when we reduce waste, we also respect that food is not a given for the millions of people who go hungry every day to bed. And actually, it's up to us to change our habits to make not wasting food a way of life. And I designed a small presentation with a few slides with some tips that you can do on a daily basis. So let's bring up the presentation. And I want to show you here some easy, really daily easy actions you can take to reconnect to food and what it stands for. So I guess it's 17 steps I found. Maybe it's more, maybe it's not complete. So you are highly, highly invited. If you have an idea what we can do in essential, in addition, please go to our website, Respect Mother Earth, or on our email address, contact@respectmotherearth.com. And we always love to have a nice conversation with you, what you are doing, maybe in your community, or what you're doing on a daily basis at home. But let's get started with the first slide. So the first thing is avoiding waste food is, actually, it's a very important one. It's also very, very helpful for yourself, is start adopting, if you don't do already, start adopting a healthier, more sustainable diet. Life is just very fast paced. I notice most people are really in a treadmill, going to work every day. I know that most people can't afford the same lifestyle I do. I'm traveling all the time. And I work remotely. That's because that's the lifestyle I chose. So I have a lot of time to buy regional stuff, local stuff at local farmers. I don't buy any prepared canned food, frozen food, processed foods. I always cook for myself. Very few times I go to small restaurants, local restaurants. I know that for most people it's not possible because they really have a fast-paced life, and for them preparing nutritious meals can also be a challenge. I'm totally aware of that, but I strongly believe that healthy meals don't have to be very elaborate, because the internet is really, really full of quick, healthy recipes that you can share with your family and friends. So if the why is strong enough, as I always say, the what and the how shouldn't be an issue. So first of all, adopt a healthier, more sustainable diet, meaning eat less processed food from supermarkets, cook yourself fresh stuff every day. It's possible, and it's not a really huge effort. You find a lot of quick recipes that are healthy, delicious, and easy going. So the first one. Secondly, buy only what you need. That's very, very important. I know when you're busy, maybe you use the weekends, I don't know, drive Saturday to the supermarket and buy the whole stuff for the whole week or even for 2 weeks, because you have a very, very busy Monday to Friday at the office or where you're working from. But it's everything about planning, and it's everything about taking responsibility and being more conscious about it. So please plan your meals, make a shopping list and stick to it. Make a clear shopping list, plan your meals for the week. That's what I do. Make a shopping list, what you need, and avoid impulse buying. I know when we go somewhere, I mentioned it in previous shows, I'm not a supermarket fan. Sometimes I go there to buy toilet paper, sometimes water, but I buy at local markets or from farms. But even on local markets, sometimes I buy more than I really need, because I see this and I see this, and especially when I'm traveling in different parts, especially here in Europe now, in France, I see this cheese, or in Portugal, this and this. Sometimes I buy more than I need, but because I want to try all the stuff up. But please plan your meals for the week. it's fun, you know, plan your week to have less stress about cooking, make a shopping list, what you need on ingredients, stick to it, and avoid impulse buying. And not only will you waste less food, it also saves money. It absolutely saves money. So my second tip for you is buy only what you really need for cooking. And don't buy all the other stuff, okay? Don't buy too much. By the way, what I found out is with friends of mine, sometimes I go with them to the supermarket, and they always try to buy huge quantities, you know, family package is much cheaper. And to be honest, I'm a person that always have my readings glasses with me, because sometimes when I go to the supermarket to buy something, I always read the ingredients totally, because I want to know what's in. So because there are many ingredients I don't want to have in my body, so I always read them, the small printing. And what I found out is I always look at the price and compare it, what it costs per ounce or per pound on euro per kilo or per liter. And I found out that the family packages, the large packages most supermarkets promote, they are not cheaper than a small one. They're not compared with the, you know, with the same quantity. Sometimes they're more expensive. So yeah, really be careful and don't buy too much. It doesn't make sense at all. It's not cheap at the end of the day, and it's also not cheaper when you can use it anymore. When you throw it away, then it's also wasted money. Secondly, this might be challenging for somebody. That's what I learned from my grandma in my and when I was young, and later again, pick up ugly fruit and vegetables. Please don't, and especially in the US, because I travel many times to the US, when I go to the supermarket, you know, all these fruits are polished and waxed and look nice, but I know that they're not really tasty, and they're not really full of ingredients that they should be, especially the phytochemicals. So please pick up ugly fruits and vegetables, like beer, organic fruits and vegetables. So my call out for you is, don't judge foods by its appearance. That's what we are trained on it, but it's not true. Don't judge your food by its appearance. Oddly shaped or bruised fruits and vegetables, from my experience, are often thrown away because they don't meet arbitrary cosmetic standards. It's really ridiculous, yeah. So don't worry, they taste the same, mostly much better. And the other way is when you have, when I go to the market, buy really and use mature fruits for smoothies, juices, or desserts. Okay, and even at home, if they're mature and maybe didn't look any more good, make a juice out of it, make a smoothie or whatever. Don't throw it away. Okay, so please don't judge food by the appearance. That's why we trained. I know we're very visual. What I learned, I remember over 30 years ago, I was studying on a university in Spain, and I had rented a room out and this lady, Donna Lucia, she was cooking every day, fresh. And, you know, I always loved to cook, even when I was a student. So I always tried to learn different recipes. And I went with her to the market, and she showed me how to buy a good melon and really try it and smell it and knock on it. And, you know, it's really in a good shape. So what I do when I see food, especially fruits, I smell. Do they smell good? Yes or no? I don't look on the appearance. Okay, so tip number 4, when you bring food at home, please store food wisely. So move all the products to the front. You mean first in, first out, in the front of your cupboard or your fridge, and new ones to the back. So that makes sense. Use airtight containers. So if you have to keep open food fresh in the fridge. And please ensure the packets are closed to stop insects from getting in. Okay, so store wisely at home. When I say ensure packets are closed, especially when you buy rice, flour, stuff like that, then they can become insects, and then you have to throw it away after a while when they start flying away. Okay, so please store wisely. I guess I have another slide comes later again. I'm not quite sure, but I call it first in, first out. I just remember when I prepared the presentation, I guess it did double. So first in, first out. So what's the older one in front and what's new in the back? It happened to me too, you know. I was in a learning process too about it. You buy the new brew in the front, and you eat the new one, and you forget the older one, and then you throw it away. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so store wisely at home. Very important topic too. Then it's an interesting one. I know it's sometimes a little difficult, but understand or learn to understand food labeling. I mentioned earlier that I always go with my reading class in the supermarket, and sometimes, the ingredients, I don't know how it's in the US, but in Europe, sometimes producers try to avoid that you find out what is really in, so that they write it very small. So mostly I can't even read it with my glasses. Sometimes I ask friends, I say, no, I can't read it too. So what I do is I photograph it with my smartphone and make the picture large, because I'm always interested. Even sometimes I buy canned food for the animals, meat and for the cat and for the dog who are traveling with me. And even there, I always look if there's no sugar in the cereal. So understand food labeling. But this topic is not about ingredients. It's more about labeling, meaning learn the big difference between best before and use by dates. So what's the difference between best before dates and use by dates? Because sometimes, food is still safe to eat after the best before date, for sure. Okay, best before date doesn't mean that afterwards you cannot enjoy it. Whereas the use by date, that tells you when it's no longer safe to eat. So when you say best before, afterwards, sometimes I get stuff 30-50% much cheaper, because it says best before and it's tomorrow, the date of tomorrow, and I buy it and I eat it 2-3 days later, no problem at all. Okay, best before, we really can eat it much later. That's absolutely no problem. When it says use by, then you have to be more careful. So check food labels for unhealthy ingredients, as I said before, such like trans fats and preservatives, and avoid foods with added sugar or salt when you have a salt problem. But I'm not much into avoiding the salt. I love salt, but try to avoid added sugar. But actually for sugar, we could do a whole presentation, because the industry gets more and more clever. Sugar is very, very sweet. So everywhere sugar, even a story by side, I went with my cat to the vet. She had some issues, and they did some blood tests, and they told me, kidney is okay, liver some problems, and she has high sugar levels. I said, well, high sugar, she's only eating meat. My cat is only eating meat. And I found out that the company where I buy the meat in the can, they put sugar in. I didn't see it, on the label. They put sugar in. It's really ridiculous. And really, they're doing more and more tricks, and they have different names for sugars. So avoid sugar, avoid trans fat and preservatives, and many E numbers that are not healthy. And by the way, I don't know if you got the discussion the last weeks and months that more and more insects will be also in food, and already are in food, like in bread and in pasta. But I don't worry about it at all, because I don't buy all this stuff. But if you buy pasta, bread and stuff like that, because I bake my own bread. But if you buy it, really have a look at it. What's in, especially insect, are very, very bad for your health. Good. So learn, understand food labeling. Actually, there are some good apps where you can scan the food, and then the apps list you up what's in, not only calories and the macros like protein, fat, carbs and sugar, but also to understand all the E numbers, if they're good for you or not. So understand food labeling, very, very important. And by the way, I always say, I don't understand when you eat something, you have to be clear that it's in your body, and this food becomes part of your body. The enzymes that destroy it, make it smaller. You mix it with liquid or aqua, with water. It comes into your blood system, and from your blood system, it's transported to your cells and the mitochondria. It's part of your body. Okay, so please be aware what you're buying, what you're eating. It's part of your body. Okay, I don't understand why people eat so much crap and then they're sick and they don't understand the world. It's all about what you're eating. So understand food labeling, learn about it, really learn about it. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. There are apps that help you, and so on. Go understand food labeling. Tip number 6: start small. Meaning small portions. Okay, small portions. So please take smaller portions. And then, by the way, I know that the average American standard diet is more than 3,500 calories. That's the average American standard, but it's much too high. And we all know that, food reduction or calorie reduction by 20-25%, and you still have over 2,500, really, really is very beneficial for your health. So take smaller portions at home and share large dishes at restaurants. That's what I do, with my girlfriend when sometimes we go to a restaurant. And what we do is we share a starter, we share a main dish, we share a dessert, and that's what we do. We always share in small portions, much better. Okay, it's not, I know especially in the US the portions are really really large. So take smaller portions at home firstly, and the trick is use smaller plates or cups or whatever. Yeah, use smaller plates and smaller cups, and we use bowls. I eat a lot of stuff in bowls, smaller bowls. And it's smaller portions. And yeah, start small, very, very important. And I do a show afterwards about it's the topic is power up your brain, and a huge part in powering up your brain, being more smart, being more fit, avoiding dementia and all this illness in your brain. It's about fasting and food reduction. Also start smaller portions, okay? And portions are large, sorry. Then share it. Good. Number 7, love your leftovers. So what I mean with this is if you don't eat everything you make, freeze it for later, or use the leftovers as ingredients in another meal, whatever it is, or when it's just meat, non-processed, non-spicy, I give it to my dog or my cat. So love your leftovers. You don't have to throw it away. Freeze it and use it for later. Or maybe you can use this as an ingredient for a different meal, whatever. Okay, so love your leftovers. Don't throw them away, please. Number 8, put your food waste to use. What I mean is, instead of throwing away your food scraps, compost them, for example. If you have an option, when you have live outside the city, when you're for a house, do composting. Get good compost when you grow your own fruits and vegetables, just for your flowers. So please, instead of throwing away your food scraps, compost them, because when you compost them, this is a way that you are giving nutrition back to the soil. The soil needs the nutrition, and you're also reducing your carbon footprint. Okay, so when you have food waste, I sometimes do, especially when I peel vegetables and fruits, the peels of the potatoes or the whatever, I don't know, when I cut away when I'm cook, I use them, I compost them. Okay, good. So put your food waste to use and compost them. Very good, especially for your own garden. You don't have to buy any fertilizer, and you can use it at home when you're for a garden and you're planting your own fruits and vegetables, or even just for flowers, produce your own compost. It's also a good idea. Or maybe somebody who loves to have your compost, so put it in, collect it, and once a week you bring it there. There are many options. I always say, when the why is strong enough, we have an understanding when the why is strong enough, the what and the how shouldn't be an issue. So please try compost. Very good. Well, that's an interesting point. Respect food, and I guess I messed in the beginning when I said when I was traveling and going in hotels and people having, because it's all in, the breakfast buffet, or when they go in all in buffet, they make plates like this, and then they don't like it, they finish it, and then I always think, oh, this poor cow, this poor pig, really. Was dying for nothing. Just thrown away. It's even not eaten up. So please respect food. Food actually connects us all, and reconnecting with food by knowing the process that goes into making it is very, very critical. And please read about food production and get to know your farmers. Food is not just do not being hungry anymore, not starving anymore. Food is much more. As I said at the beginning, it becomes part of your body. Please, food has such an we produced it, what we use for the production, how much water is used, how far is it transported, and stuff like that. So food has an amazing, incredible impact. So please respect food, respect Mother Earth, because food connects us all, because everybody is connected and everybody gets an impact on how you eat. So please reconnect with food by knowing the process that it's made. Read about food production. Maybe you didn't know how it's produced, how much water is wasted, or how much fertilizer is used to have this or to have that. And get to know your farmers and go to local markets, have a conversation. I learned so much from different farmers, and some of them we became friends. And it's not only that I buy good stuff from them, it's only very, very interesting. Sometimes they invite me to the farm and I see how they grow the stuff, or how they the breed their animals. Really, really interesting. Okay, so respect food, respect Mother Earth, respect food. Yeah, I mentioned it before. Please support local food producers. So because by buying local food, local process, you support family farmers, not the large companies, the family farmers. Most people say, I complain, yeah, the family farmers are less and less and less there. Yeah, you have to support them. If you don't buy their stuff, they die, they go bankrupt. So please buy local, support local small family farmers, small businesses in your community, small grocery stores, grocery shops, small businesses in your community, because you will also help fighting pollution by reducing delivery distances for trucks and other vehicles. As I said, transportation, when the food comes from, I don't know, from the other part of the country. So please support local producers, small businesses, small grocery stores, small butchers, whatever you have, small farmers. Go local. Much better quality, and you get the chance to know where it's coming from, who produces them, what energy is invested. It's just a lovely, friendly person. This person is really has a huge heart, is a friendly, empathic person. That this energy is also the food. People don't understand that food is energy. So is also when you cook, cook with a good intention, because when you are really aggressive or in a hurry or stressed, this energy goes into food, and then you feed your kids with them, and then you and then your kids get the same energy out of the food. So take care about it. Food is energy. Okay, so buy local, where there's a good-hearted farmer, a lovely grocery shop, with an open heart, and there is a more positive energy in the food, and more positive energy comes to your body. Yeah, the next point is, it's about fishing. Maybe you heard fish is so important. Eat more fish, eat more fish. Yes, it was true years ago. I would say now not anymore. I'm very into ocean fish production and fishing. I do a lot of beach cleaning, stuff like that. Those who know me. And to be honest, I love fish. I love seafood in special, but less. There are many reasons. First of all, eat fish species that are more abundant, such as mackerel or herring. There are more of them, rather than those that are at risk of being overfished, like cod or tuna. I have to tell you, I've got some interesting figures out last week that over 90% is overfished, meaning we have 90% minus fish in the ocean all over the world, in all the different oceans, than we had 100 years ago. There's only 10% left. 90% is not here anymore. Can you imagine? It's not here anymore. So only 10% left. So it's totally overfished. It's one point. We don't have enough fish. And secondly, with all this plastic waste, we had a show about this, with all this plastic waste that goes smaller and smaller, fish is really contaminated with microplastic. So eating fish, especially from the sea, is not a good option anymore. Maybe you get some nice sweetwater fish from a river, like a trout or something, much better. Well, as I said, I love fish. I love seafood. Actually, tomorrow is my fasting day. But on Friday I go for seafood. Sometimes I go for it, but I don't eat much less than in the past. So fish, I know, it's very healthy for omega, but there are other resources for omegas too. And so please buy fish that has been caught or farmed sustainably, such as eco-labeled and certified fish, but eat less. Okay, eat less. It's not very healthy anymore because of the microplastic, and there's not much fish in the ocean anymore. So be aware about this, unfortunately. Yeah, water. Water is also part of our food. Please use less water. Doesn't mean don't drink less water. It's very, very important. It means we can't produce food without water. It's a plant or an animal, we need water. So actually, while it's important that farmers use less water to grow food, reducing food waste also saves all the water resources that went into producing it. So be aware about that. So by not avoiding wasting food, you also save more water, and also reduce your water intake in other ways too, like fixing leaks or turning off the water while brushing your teeth and stuff like that. It's interesting, especially when you move into a boat or a motorhome, you're very aware about water because your tank is not limitless. So I know at home, you just turn on your water and you let it run, and you shower and you brush your teeth and water's running down and stuff like that. So please be aware of water. Water is a very, very important source. So use less water, be aware of that. Yeah, this also means keep water clean and keep your soil clean too, because some household waste is potentially hazardous and should never be thrown in a regular rubbish bin. I mean, items such as batteries, paints, mobile phones, medicine, chemicals, fertilizer, tires, rubber, ink cartridges, etc., can seep into your soil and water supply too, and damaging the natural resources that produces our food. So be aware of that too. Yeah, it's an indirect impact. Okay, what you throw away, please don't put it in the normal garbage bin, because it can come to the soil. The ingredient can come to the water, pollutes them, and we need this water. We need the soil to produce food. So be aware about this. So please keep our soils and water clean. Very important too. Well, most people know I'm a carnivore. I eat a lot of meat, but only grass-fed beef, nothing from supermarket, nothing from large farms, only from small farms. I know where the cows and the bulls are only eating grass, no cereals, no soya that is transported long distances and jungle is burned down for the producing of soya. But eat meat, yes, but try to eat more pulses and veggies as a diet. Okay, so, and maybe you change a little bit your habits on cereals, maybe once a week. Just try small, and try eating a meal based on pulses or ancient grains like quinoa, for example. Yeah, so try different stuff out and try them. Yeah, it's tasty, and they're really, really. I didn't like it in the beginning, but they're really, really nice receipts for this too. Yeah, as I said, there is one slide more on double. It's what I said already in the beginning. One of the first slide is organize your kitchen with FIFO. That means first in, first out. That's what I said. I just repeat it because it's really, really simple to organize it and really helps you to avoid waste food and throw it away. So I repeat it because it's really important. Organize the fridge and the pantry. That really can help you to keep track of what you have at home. I know there are some fridges with artificial intelligence that tell you exactly what's in the fridge and what you buy the next one. I don't know if you need this, not at all, but be clear and track what you have at home. Let's say even in my motorhome, I have a lot of storages on the floor and stuff like that. So I fill the stuff and then I forget already, do I have enough or not? And I buy a double, doesn't make sense at all. So please track what you have at home. Help to identify the foods that are ready to eat, meaning what you should eat the next day, so you don't throw it away because it's use by date. And as I said, FIFO stands for first in, first out, and it actually is a very useful way of organizing food at home. And also, many restaurants and grocery stores use this system also to reduce waste, so you can do it at home too. So please, as I said, please place newly bought foods at the back of the cupboard or the fridge. And this will encourage people to use the food in the front, your kids and your family members. which also ensures that it's always freshness and reduces waste. And for example, for those of you guys who keep a lot of tins at home, ensure that the ones closest to the expiry date are in the front of the cupboard and use those first for the bin spire. Good. Yeah, this brings me to the next point. Please, it makes also sense, keep a log of spoiled foods. So what I mean is by writing down the types of food that go bad can help a person to identify the foods that they can cut back on. Meaning, when it happens that you throw something away, write it down, okay? And then you get a nice collection and say, okay, I was throwing away, I don't know, pineapples very often, or carrots, or bread, whatever it is. And then you find out, okay, maybe it's clever in the future to buy less pineapples or less carrots or less bread or whatever it is, okay? Because sometimes we forget it. We just throw it away. We don't think about it. It's not normally, it's not a big issue. You know, we take it. Well, we don't like it, or we said, okay, it's gone. It's rubbish, so we throw it away. We forget it. So make a list, track it, and then you find out, okay, this is very often in the bin. So try to avoid it, meaning buy less of it. So another example, for example, if someone finds themselves throwing out many oranges as they go bad, the solution might be to buy fewer oranges to avoid the spoilage, okay? Or pineapples or whatever. And as I said at the beginning, that I know that sometimes buying larger bags of products rather than one or two pieces might be cheaper. Say, you know, this family packages, the large packages. But a person will not save money if they routinely throw it away. Okay, so, first of all, I said sometimes the family package is not really cheaper when you compare it with the same size. And the secondly is when you throw it away, especially when you're a single household, when you throw it away, then it doesn't make sense to save the money first and then throw it away because you didn't save anything. Okay, so keep a log of spoiled food, learn about it, and make it next time better. Yes, now I guess we're already on this next number, and this one I really love. Sharing is caring. So when you have too much food, please donate it. Donate food that would otherwise be wasted. For example, apps. There are apps out of the market that connect neighbors with each other, with local businesses, so surplus food can be shared, not thrown away. Actually, here on the road, I do it. Sometimes, you know, I cook something and I have a little portion. I'm traveling single. As I said, when I have leftover, when it's not spicy, when it's healthy, the dog and the cat can eat it. But I give you an example. I was cooking last week fish curry, a spicy fish curry, and the Creolean spicy rice too. It's absolutely nothing for my dog and my cat. So it was a huge portion. So I invited other people on the camping site. I say, hey, come over. I'm cooking today. Would you love to join me? And we share it. And they brought a bottle of wine and I was serving the food and we had fun. So please donate food or invite neighbors, or maybe you give it to homeless people or whatever. Okay, so share the surplus with other ones. Don't throw it away, because actually reducing food waste benefits individuals in many ways, including it saves you money from buying it, and it saves you money when you buy less, and it saves you money when you're wasting less food. So actually, as I said, organizing and structuring meals may save a person significant amounts of time, of course, can do so. And in the long run, and it also makes a person's eating habits much, much simpler and more helpful. And actually, I know that the average consumer is not the greatest threat on the environment, the single one. I know this. But for me, it's still crucial that people take steps to reduce the environmental impact. It starts with you. It's not waiting for the others. It's just, why it's me, it's only me. No, it's just becoming a role model. Talk to other people, become a role model, educate other people. Yeah. And just start with you and your kids. Because finding ways to reduce food waste can have a strong individual impact and help create a healthier food future for all of us. I strongly believe this. As I said in the beginning, it's all about us. It's not about the others, how we do it. That's what I do. These are my personal points that I do on a daily basis. So I hope it's helpful for you. If you have any questions, please contact me, write an email to contact@respectmother-earth. If you have any ideas what you are doing at home or in your community, how you are trying to avoid food waste, what you're doing, what initiatives you're having, I'm very, very interesting. And if it's a good one, we can bring you on the show too. Okay, this was for this time. I hope it was helpful for you. And as I said, it's a large journey, always starts with the first step. So do step by step, get used to it, and it's very good. And I know when you involve your kids, they love it. They really like it, especially kids say, "Hey, mommy, did you said this and this? Don't throw it away or buy less or little bit." Kids are very smart on that. Thank you so much for listening to us here on USA Global TV and Radio at the Earth Show. Yeah, see you again in next week. In 2 weeks, actually, we broadcast every 2 weeks. And if you want to learn something about braining up, power up your brain, stay tuned and come to the next show in 20 minutes on the Mallorca Connection. I will talk about and give tips about how you can power up your brain. I guess it's more important, very important, because more and more people get dementia or Parkinson or any other issues in the brain. So power up your brain. We start in 24 minutes here on USA Global TV and Radio. That's the station where you get the information that you really need in life that helps you to become a better version of yourself, where you stay healthy and maybe become wealthy. Thanks a lot. See you again. Bye-bye.